so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and Airbnb owners right now are going through some rough times, which may benefit us because what we'll talk about today and what I'm going to show you is, depending on the metro area, certain owners of Airbnb are actually being forced to sell their property. And really what we're going to break down today, you guys, is the revenue losses, which are massive, on average over 20%, in some metro areas over 50%. And then the number two thing we're going to talk about is inventory. How many Airbnb listings are there exactly? Because we want listings as people on the sideline. The more listings, the lower the prices. Now, the third thing we're going to talk about is where the forced selling of Airbnbs are going to come from. And look no further than the metro areas that are currently banning Airbnbs. Now, I want to make clear that this is an incredible development because a lot of people keep asking, where are we going to get the inventory? Where is the forced sellers going to come from? Other than new home builders, the leading catalyst as far as resales appears to be Airbnbs or investors. And we're already seeing, the great thing, guys, is we're seeing this in the long-term rental market with institutional investors. But this new Airbnb death blow is going to be the start of things to come. And we'll get into that towards the end of this video. But again, you guys, where I'm going to start is by talking about the massive revenue losses. Now, the first article I'm going to dig into is from Newsweek. The name of the article is Airbnb Revenue Collapse Sparks Housing Market Crash Fears. An unfolding revenue crisis for Airbnb, the popular service that lets property owners rent out their spaces to travelers, could trigger a housing market crash on par with 2008 subprime crisis in some cities, according to a real estate expert. Revenues for the San Francisco-based company have dropped by nearly 50% in cities like Phoenix and Austin, Texas, suggesting the company might be facing an unfolding crisis. That is according to the recent data from All the Rooms comparing Airbnb profits to May 2022 and May of 2023. The article goes on and quotes our boy with Reventure Consulting. He made Newsweek, y'all. YouTube is doing it. The Airbnb collapse is real, tweeted Reventure Consulting, a company that offers advice to home buyers and real estate investors, on Tuesday. And we're going to get into this list right here, you guys. But first, let me show you this. I just want to point out that it did spike, as you guys can see, all the way up here around Q3 of 2022, but it has been drastically plummeting, probably because in Q3 of 2022, everyone was spending their stimulus money like crazy. I don't know, could just be me, but that's probably what we're seeing there. But look at this again, massive decline starting Q4 of 2022, again a decline in Q1 of 2023. Now that's putting us at almost where the profit was pre-pandemic. So you can see Q3 of 2019 is almost where we're at right now. Now, the reason why that's especially astounding to me is because there's still so much excess savings. They printed so much money, and for the money to be leaving this quickly is astounding to me. And also what's surprising about the money is how powerful the money is as far as excess savings in the hands of the consumer. And obviously a company like Airbnb is going to suffer greatly as consumers have less and less money as a result of unaffordability and the quantitative tightening. Now, going into some of the cities that Nick tweeted, starting with the number one city in Tennessee, having a loss of income of 47.6%. But I'm really interested in number two and number three on this list. This will be an additional catalyst, you guys, in number two, Phoenix. Y'all see why I'm saying Phoenix is in so much danger? But look at number three, Austin. So I really feel like Phoenix and Austin, as far as this housing market crash, they're going to be the number one and number two. I really am going to side with Phoenix, though, because I flew there and I saw a ridiculous amount of new construction homes. Now, Phoenix has a loss of income for short-term rentals of 47%. Austin's 46%, followed by Myrtle Beach, 45%. Number 5, San Antonio at 43%. Now, the reason this is important is as the revenue drops in these areas, these guys will probably sell, putting more inventory on the market, allowing us more opportunities to purchase. You can see number 6, Asheville, Salisbury, number 7, Nashville, Tennessee at number 8 with a loss of revenue of a whopping 39%, followed by Denver, Colorado. And think about Denver. Denver is a huge tourist destination location. For a huge tourist destination location to be down 38% of income tells us the consumer's not in good shape, you guys. We know the consumer's not in good shape. If they were in good shape, why would they have charged $250 billion in credit card debt in the last 2 years? Then we have Breckenridge, Colorado, New Orleans, which is good at 37%, Lakeland, Seattle, Panama City, and Orlando. We have a few Florida metro areas on there, which is especially good because in 2022, Florida has been incredibly resilient as far as home prices. What we're seeing at the start of 2023 is Florida is actually softening greatly. So the fact that some top metro areas in Florida are experiencing massive revenue losses, not just with institutional investors, but with short-term rentals, y'all, that's a good thing for people like us. But the question is there enough inventory to go around to make a substantial change in the housing market? In order to answer that, you guys, let's see how many Airbnb listings there actually are. Taking a look at this key Airbnb statistics, we can see here, and this is the most recent data I can get, there were 6.6 million listings on Airbnb ran by 4 million hosts. But the thing is, guys, that's worldwide. We can see from this chart here the market share of various places around the world, various countries around the world, and look at number one as United States at a market share as far as Airbnb of 40.6%. So a tremendous amount of listings are in the United States. And just to see how many listings, let's pull up the calculator and put 6.6 million listings times 40.6% equals nearly 2.7 million homes. You guys, if we had a surge of 500,000 active units in our housing market right now, the entire housing market would flip upside down in its head. That's a lot of inventory. If we have, 15% of this Airbnb inventory of 2.7 million, you guys, the collapse is going to happen. And this is just one catalyst. There's other catalysts like new home building, institutional investors, long-term rental market. Long-term rental market's getting crushed because people that have primary resident houses with a 2 and 3% interest rate are converting them to rentals, which is killing the cap rate for investors. That's a good thing. But let's now talk about where is the forced selling going to come from. So we're going to look at a map on what metro areas have already started banning Airbnb. And you guys, here's the thing. I think it needs to happen because essentially in Airbnb, you're putting a hotel in the middle of a single family residential neighborhood. I can understand short-term rentals like Airbnb in coastal cities, but like in places like Phoenix that is just surrounded by SFRs, to me it makes no sense and it's really strangling the market. Let's see the metro areas that are starting to wise up and ban. So far, these US cities have passed laws banning or restricting Airbnbs and other short-term rental listings. Now take a look, guys. Starting on the West Coast, look at San Francisco. Massive need of inventory. If they continue to ban and cripple Airbnbs in California, you're going to see a continued change in California. Look at also Los Angeles, massive need of inventory. Then we have Las Vegas. Obviously, we want more resale in Las Vegas as well. Even though we have a tremendous amount of new home building going to the right, we can see New Orleans. New Orleans is in bad shape as well with defaults. So the fact that they're also restricting Airbnbs, that's a great catalyst. Now we also have Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta is a big one because we know that certain zip codes in Atlanta, over 50% of those houses belong to investors. Then we have our Florida metros, Jacksonville and Miami. Thank goodness Miami is on here. We're going to see Florida continue to soften and unravel this year. I can almost guarantee that. Then we have Charleston, thank goodness, District of Columbia, and also good news, New York. So y'all, things are starting to change and they're starting to change quickly all around the housing market. We wanted all of these things to unravel this year, and it was, but the $400 billion bank bailout. So anytime I hear people say the economy is incredibly strong, I'm like, well, what about all the quantitative easing that's been happening? Would it be incredibly strong without the life support from the Federal Reserve? I don't think so, but here's the good news, you guys. We're going to add one more metro area to that map that is taking massive action and banning Airbnbs. Take a look at this article. And this is from 106.3 The Buzz. A bunch of Airbnbs and VRBOs are now banned in Dallas. Dallas City Council ban on STRs. STR is short-term rentals. If you don't know what an STR is, it stands for short-term rentals. The most popular options for STR are Airbnb or VRBOs. Last night, the Dallas City Council officially voted to ban STRs in single-family areas. A round of applause for Dallas. That is a fantastic thing for so many people, except the Airbnb owners. So if you're an Airbnb owner in Dallas, I'm sorry, y'all. It just didn't work out. Currently, around 1,000 Airbnbs and VRBO rentals would be illegal after December of this year. In Dallas, you guys, we got inventory coming in Dallas. So if you're in Dallas, homeowner on the sideline, buckle up, you guys, because it's about to get super shaky. And that adjustment in the housing market is just going to put even more pressure on those prices going down and that inventory going up. Interesting stat to go over as well. Look at this increase in crime in Dallas due to STRs or short-term rentals. In not shocking news, a lot of folks use short-term rentals to throw parties. Obviously, duh, right? Nothing wrong with that. However, Dallas police said at the city council meeting that 20%, you guys, 20% of FTRs have called 911 due to a party getting out of control. In conclusion, why is this good, you guys? Well, the number one reason this is good is it's going to clean up the communities and reduce crime. Again, I keep saying this. It's like having a hotel in a neighborhood, and you're never going to know who the tenants are. It's like having a new neighbor every single night that wants to party right next door to you. We can't have that in the communities, you guys. So the number one thing is it is improving the community. Now, the number two thing is it will lead to additional inventory. Bans and restrictions and income loss is going to lead many of these Airbnb owners to have to sell, whether it be to liquidate or get rid of a toxic asset. It's gonna happen. Now, number three, the good news is because of all of that inventory, it's gonna put more pressure on prices to come down and allow unaffordability to do its job in the housing market, get us back to fundamentals, get these prices down. I don't care, raise the rates to 8 and 9%, so long as the prices come down. So again, I say to you, if you're on the sidelines, take confidence in the money is being burnt. Unaffordability is doing its job. We just have to continue to be patient and hunt for the right deal. Other than that, guys, I really hope you guys got some new insights, value, and perspective. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.